people just need to stop being pussies. Yeah.
The game is the game. Yeah, for the fun of it.
I don't give a
Hi, I'm Kelly, and you've tuned in to The Con Gusto Show, the most delicious podcast about magic internet money in the entire world. I don't know why you're here, but I'm glad you are. Hope you enjoy, and bon appetit.
Yo, Paloma, how's it going? It's super nice to have you on Taste. Finally, I think we've been back and forth for like 2 months. But yeah, how's life? And how is it where you are?
Yeah, I'm great. Thank you. I've been looking forward to this. Like you said, we've been back and forth for a month or more. It is very hot where I'm at. So that's how it's going. How's it going where you're at?
It's great, very dusty. I'm in Mexico City, so lots of dust, lots of tacos, lots of sound. Mexico City is like known for having many sounds, whether it's dogs barking, people selling stuff in like little carts, like crazy people screaming. It's great. It's a variety of sounds. Where are you at the moment?
I'm in Lagos, Nigeria. But Lagos is kind of similar because it's known for being very busy, having lots of sounds. It's like similar vibe to what you just described, basically.
Damn. So the only like continent I haven't, I guess, like traveled to is Africa. It's so high up on my list. Even like in terms of, you know, my work, we're really interested in supporting builders there. But anyways, this podcast is not about my work, so yeah. Were you like born and raised in Lagos or?
No, I actually wasn't born in Lagos. I was born in a city called Jos, also in Nigeria. So I've lived all my life in Nigeria. But Jos is like slower pace. I think I prefer like the vibe to Lagos just because I'm a chill girl and it's a really chill city. Also like chill, like colder than Lagos. Lagos is way too hot for me. And it was really nice to grow up in like a smaller town like Jos because like almost everybody knew everybody, and I kind of like that as like when I was younger growing up.
Yeah, so I guess you can't do anything naughty, otherwise all your neighbors will know. It's like forever cancelled.
You know the thing about that, like in Jos, so when I was like, I don't know, like time to go to school, my mom made a school for me and my siblings. So I literally spent like from daycare to grade 5 in my mom's school. So that was even worse, I think, because everybody knew who I was. Everybody knew my mom owned the school. I mean, the school, like when I was in the school, we had 150 students. So it was like pretty decent size. But like everybody knew who I was. So yeah, I was always getting in trouble in that sense, like my mom knowing everything that I did. So that was like an interesting part of my childhood. But yeah, I don't know. I guess you just have to live life.
It's so different having like parents who are teachers. It's like difficulty level, like childhood difficulty level, extremely hard. I can kind of relate, I guess. Like I was raised, my auntie was like a teacher, very good at discipline, but I don't know, I guess that's kind of different to being the daughter of like someone who runs the local school. That's like a whole nother level. Yeah. I reached out to you because you're like a content creator, mostly on chain, which I think is a very rare breed right now. So it's always really interesting to hear, I guess like where you came from and why you decided to become a content creator in this space. You currently host Yap and Roast and also Building on Chain, which are 2 different series from my understanding. So like I'm curious, what's your story and how did you get here?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So whenever I talk to people in this like the space and they ask me like how I got into crypto, I usually start from like lurking on Twitter, then winning an NFT and joining Developer DAO. But like before I was lurking on Twitter, I was actually really active on LinkedIn. I don't usually mention this part. I don't know why. I don't, but yeah, I'm giving you like all my lore. So yeah, I was really active on LinkedIn and then creating content on LinkedIn back in like 2020 up till like 2021. And so there was another creator that like had a community for like creators on LinkedIn, and like I guess it just grew like other people. And so it was a Discord chat. So that was probably like the first Discord group that I ever joined. And there were people there that were kind of active in like Web3, because I remember they were talking about like the Uniswap airdrop and things like that. And someone put a tweet one day in the chat, like someone dropped a tweet, a link to someone else's tweet, which said basically, joining crypto today is like joining Facebook back in 2004. And I'm like, okay, I missed that cycle. Maybe I can join this cycle. So then I started like lurking on like crypto Twitter more. So this is like the prequel to the start of like my crypto journey. So lurking on crypto Twitter, I saw a tweet for like Web3Con in like early 2022. If you signed up for the conference, then you could win like an NFT to developer DAO. And then I won the NFT, and
Oh, nice.
then I joined the DAO. So that, but I was like such a noob back then, because when I got the like DM, hey, you won, send us your ETH address so we can send you the NFT. I had no idea like what an ETH address was. I only knew like Binance, and so I was so confused. Then I asked like some people, and then they told me. So like that's how the story goes. But yeah, that's basically like how I started out in the space. And I've been like in the space for a hot minute. How I started out with like podcasting, even like back when I was creating on LinkedIn, I had a podcast back then also. And I really enjoyed like the whole idea of like podcasting. It like never went anywhere because I was on a break from school when I started it. I went back to school and I just had to take something off, like balancing school with work and everything else. So I stopped the podcast. Then I wanted to start it again in 2022, but I had lost the vibe for. So then it was like a like student focused, like career focused podcast, like interviewing people in like different jobs, interviewing like content creators, that sort of thing. But I was like in a different headspace. So when I tried to start the podcast again, I started it with like Twitter Spaces, and then I was really like interested in DevRel, trying to get hired as DevRel. So I called it like back then DevRel on Chain, and then I did a few episodes. Then I went back to school again and I stopped. And then last year I was like taking like some form of like break because I was recovering from burnout, and I'm like, okay, I can finally do a podcast, nothing's stopping me. But I was like out of the DevRel headspace. So I just like changed the name to Building on Chain, and I actually changed the name to Building on Chain like way before I started the podcast, before like all the on-chain hype.
Yeah.
And then like just to, because I already had the Twitter handle from when it was DevRel on Chain, so I changed it like way back in like 2023, and then I launched properly sometime last year, maybe May, June. I don't remember. And yeah, so that's like the whole journey of how I got to this point somehow.
Okay, so we started from LinkedIn Law, and then you started lurking. I think most people kind of like, when you start from lurking on crypto Twitter, like that's a good start, because that's like way better than going straight from like Twitter into LinkedIn into some weird, I don't know, like I feel like you get a better pulse of like what's legit and what's not when you like get to know crypto Twitter a little bit, at least like the nice corners of crypto Twitter, not like the shilly meme coin KOL stuff. But yeah, I mean the fact that you got into like developer DAO as well, I think that was in, what was it, like 2021 did you get in, or was it later?
No, 22 February
Okay.
2022.
Okay, that's early enough. I think developer DAO launched like November, I think earliest October 2021. I think, maybe I'm wrong, but if anyone's watching
Yeah,
this,
I think it was
they can.
sometime around that.
Do you code? Are you an engineer?
I don't know if I should call myself an engineer. I have an engineering degree, but not software engineering. Technically in my country, I can't really like have the engineering title because I haven't done like all the like certifications after like college. But I am a graduate petroleum engineer. That is one. I want to say I code, but on and off. So that's kind of like why I wanted to join. Like that's partly why I would have joined Web3 through like Developer DAO, because I was trying to go from like, okay, I know front end. They say it's so easy to do Web3 dev if you're a front end dev. You just have to understand like different user flow and like Connect Wallet and like the Web3 libraries. That was what I heard at the time.
Yeah.
And so that is like the long answer to are you an engineer?
Like, technically, yes. Have a degree. But yeah, I get it. I mean, now maybe like it's even easier because we have like AI and like anyone can build a simple project. Even like an intermediate project anyone can build. But okay, cool. And so now you're just creating content, which I think is awesome. What like kind of motivated you to keep on going with the content creation, and why did you just start to like these two particular podcasts? Have you considered any other forms of like, I guess, creating content? Because you do like mostly long form interview style, right? Mm-hmm. What was like the thought process behind, I guess, like your particular format or like the topics or the guests even? Just like tell me everything about your creative process there.
Oh my gosh, I don't think it's much of a process, if I'm being honest. So I actually it's like just a chaos. That's basically what it is. So I have like a Notion doc where I have like a dump of all the ideas and like structure, and like I literally have like checklists and like criteria and possible guests and content calendar and things like that. That was how I started out, but I didn't really like continue with it for reasons best known to me. But yeah, I think that there is a lot that I would like to do that I am not currently doing. Part of it is like I was mostly just like experimenting last year, like trying out things, because like recovering from burnout, so I took everything off and then started putting things back on slowly. And okay, I like this, I would like to do more of this. So that's like with the podcast, it was like, okay, long form. Building on chain is kind of broad. You can talk to people building apps, you can talk to projects, like you can talk to people building like protocols, you can talk to protocols looking for builders, you can talk to people like marketing, like growth, because I feel like I'm mostly thinking from like myself as a builder and just from like what builders would like to see or learn about, or like what interesting things are being built and can I speak to them. So I don't know like how else to say that. Like I want to do like consumer on chain or like AI on chain and like just focus on consumer apps or mostly AI applications. So maybe like I will organize it more and do that moving forward. Prior to now, it's been mostly based on vibes. So I have an idea of what I want it to be, but mostly like the guests that I have, it's like I have a conversation with someone and I just say like, you would be nice as a guest on my podcast. Are you down? And it's like so interesting when I say that, because I put it like open-ended, like, hey, I would love to have you sometime to share more about like this thing you just told me or this thing you just built. And you're like, yeah, sure, how's tomorrow? I'm joking. Like, not literally like that, but they like always want to do it immediately. So I'm like, okay, then I do it. And then since I have sometimes a couple of guests that are down, I'm not really doing like hardcore outreach to like people on my list, if that makes sense. So yeah, that's like a long way. But so that's been like building on chain. Building on chain is just like something I want to do for as long as I can. I want to have conversations with like builders. I want to have conversations that spotlight builders, and I want to have conversations that like benefit builders in some way. That's that. Yap and roast is like kind of different. Yap and roast.
Yeah.
So it came up because of a joke race contest. So there was a mega live joke race contest sometime last year that was like to pitch a reality show idea. And I was chatting with Claire Cat around that time. And this was like really late for me. It's like 4 a.m. for me or something. Oh yeah, so with her I was like, oh, I would like to have you as a guest on my podcast. And she said, sure. Also, you should do a like OG newbie kind of thing on your podcast where you bring someone new and someone that has been in the space for like a while and see like the different perspectives. And I'm like, oh, that's a really cool idea. Then I went to bed and then I woke up and I'm like, let me enter this as a joke race contest. So I called it OG Newbie Date and Roast. And then I got like selected as one of the 5 people. And then they were going to give us like some amount of budget to actually launch a live stream reality show. And so I changed the name from Date and Roast to Yap and Roast because yapping felt more authentic to me. And so I launched like Yap and Roast. I did like 3 episodes of a season. It was like a series of like game style show kind of thing. And then there was like I had something I called a yap wheel. I put like all the topics from all the guests and then maybe some like extra topics. So all their favorite topics from all the guests. And then you spin the wheel to get like a topic and you yap or roast. So it was more of a yapping show actually. We didn't like really get a lot of roasts, like maybe 90% yapping. And that was like interesting because I think the kind of guests I selected were more of yappers, which was good. So I think I might still like for future iterations, and it's kind of currently paused. I will do like something with it soon. I just don't want to. Yeah. So like when I was doing Yap and Roast, I paused building on chain, and now I'm like focused on building on chain. I paused Yap and Roast, but I still have plans for both. I just like trying to pace myself. I think ultimately I would do like when building on chain season is over, Yap and Roast will have a season. When Yap and Roast season is over, building on chain will have a season. So it's like manageable like that. But yeah, I want to like separate the roast from the yapping ish and like then possibly attract people that just want to like roast things, and then I can get like the roasting part. So I'm thinking like I don't even know if I should share this. Maybe I will share, maybe I will not. For Yap and Roast, I'm thinking to host like a tipsy roast show for the roast part, and then probably do like a yapping show also and see how that goes. I don't know. But yeah, that's like an idea I have, and I will keep like trying different things till I see which yapping or roast show sticks, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The thing about the roast is I feel like there are like certain people in crypto who are very roasty. Like they love to roast people. They do it every day. It became like they've grown their accounts just by roasting people. But then there's like the majority of people who are just like, so they can't roast anyone. And I feel like it's because we already, like as an industry, we get roasted by the rest of the world. So they're like, oh, we probably don't need to roast each other since we are already getting under fire. But yeah, I do think that people just need to kind of stop being pussies and say things that they would say to like their sibling or someone. But yeah, I guess that's why we need more shows like Yap and Roast, or just roast. What do you think the state of yapping is like right now? At least like from where you are, it's like a full-time content creator.
I think that depending on who you ask, you might hear like different things. So Kaito is really dominating the space with like everybody farming yaps, and some people think it's like the best thing to happen to humanity. And then some people are like, oh, if you incentivize yapping, then it's like not really a good thing. I'm somewhere like in the middle of both sides because I see both sides, and it's kind of diluting the field. I think I like when people yap just for like yap because they are passionate about something. Yap because they are like really interested in something and they're like researching it or like what they're building about, and not just like yap just because you want to have points. I prefer like passionate yaps. So yeah, I think that is like the state of yapping. Yappers are going to yap. You see like all the memes like don't talk to her, she's a yapper and she has like so many tasks to like complete, or like all I do is like sleep and yap. I think that like all these memes and talks are happening because there's just a lot of yappers and like people are beginning to yap about yapping. It's different outside of crypto Twitter ish. And then like people in crypto love to yap. I always say some people just like they love to hear their voice, the sound of their voice, or they just like their like tweets to be dominant. I don't know. I'm not one to judge. I like the game is the game. Yap for the fun of it. I feel like crypto Twitter like skews people's like POV, because especially like with the narrative and like trends, it's hard to see like what's really happening. So I know like even outside of Twitter, there's like Telegram, there's IRL, yapping, and then there's like just lots of like content being created on different apps, lots of conversations happening. Some people are more like dominant voices, and those are like yappers, I guess. Some people are less dominant voices. Like you see like some accounts that they don't even like have lots of followers, they're not like optimizing for anything, they're just like yapping for the fun of it. And so people just prepare like one-on-one communication or like private communication instead of like doing it in public and like in front of everybody.
Yeah, I think the thing is people in crypto especially love attention. I guess that goes for everyone in the world who are just very vocal, but I think also, I mean, attention is a very big currency in the industry. On top of that, cool thing about crypto, and I guess like something that many people are bullish on, is that yaps are now like kind of tokenized, I guess, or like it's not just words now. It's like, oh, like if I do this more, I will get rewarded, and right, like there's that saying like tokenize everything. So I think Keto very bullish on it. It's also really fun for people to actually see the fruits of their yaps. So like for example, like I mean I work for Mantle in my company, we have some really like natural yappers. I don't like the ratio of like natural yappers to like people who cultivated their skill is insane. So I'm very proud of that. But it's almost a flex like for that week. If you did really well on the Cato leaderboard, like good job, you've done really good job. And it's not even just BD folks, it's like everyone, like marketing, myself, Devrel, like everyone. So I think it's a good culture. I think people do need to speak out more and like share their opinion, etc. So it's fun.
Yeah.
Curious what your takeaways, how many episodes have you done in total, all of your podcasts in, like crypto podcasts, not your LinkedIn era?
Off the top of my head, I just like released episode 9 of Building on Chain today, and I have like some others that I'm like editing. So yeah, it's really at the top of my head because it's just like just before this call I pushed it out.
Oh, nice. And what's like been the biggest takeaway from jumping on calls or interviews with these people?
I don't know if like I have a biggest takeaway, and I think the group of people I have spoken with is like self-selecting. So whatever insights I get from that, I would just share. But I think for me, it's really nice to see people like passionately about what they're building. I really like that. Also, like my goal with Building on Chain is, I mean, like spotlighting, and I'm trying to like optimize for like metrics because that is a good thing. And I feel like in some way, if I'm taking people's time, both the time of like the guests and the viewers, then I should like make it worth their time. So for the the guest, I should, if I'm going to like, if I say I want to spotlight like what you're building, I should optimize it in a way that it gets a good amount of views, and then for the guest, like edit it in a way that, for the like audience, edit it in a way that it's enjoyable to watch. So that's why I try to like cut it up to like smaller clips and things like that. But I think that I like talking with passionate builders. There are lots of people that are passionate about what they're building. Yeah, that's like my insight. Like, that's my big insight. There are lots of people passionate about what they're building. I like to talk with them. I like to listen to them and just like learn from what they are building. And I think that like optimizing for like passion as opposed to like other things, is it feels more genuine and authentic. And that's like a problem I think with crypto. Is like sometimes it's hard to know who to listen to or who to believe, because it's like a mix of true but also gaming the algorithm, and like also like engagement farming, or also like spreading fraud, or also like, I don't know, rage baiting. Like there's a mix of all those things, and like a lot of your favorite creators do it because it's just a part of the game. But I think that I like having a small space on the internet where I have like the most genuine conversations with people. And I like that my guests are like genuine with me. I like that they are passionate about what they're building, and it's so contagious, the like passion and all the things that they've learned from just like putting in the work. And so yeah, that's the thing with yapping. It's like there's a balance, because most of these people are like builders, so they are like sharing from their lived experience and not like parroting like what someone else has said like over and over again. Like even when they share like advice, it's more from like how it works for them and like why it worked for them. That's like one of my favorite things about like just the conversations I get to have with people.
Nice. Yeah, I think that's a really special thing that builders in crypto have, because they have to build through so much noise and conviction. Like if they don't have passion, it's like, I don't know, they probably have left already. They probably just like made their buck, a quick buck, and left. But that's what I love about builders in our space, especially. So totally relate to you on that. Random question. Do you tell your friends that you work in crypto, or like that you're terminally online?
That's a good question. I think that like my family, my siblings all know that I am in crypto. So I think it varies. There's like a spectrum of like how much people know. I had a friend spend a few nights at my place, and I hadn't seen her in like ages, and she kept saying, "You keep checking those coins. You keep you keep looking at those coins. You keep looking at those coins." And this was like actually around the time of like blonde and brunettes. I wasn't even like looking at it from like a market point of view, more like, I don't know, I was just like so obsessed with blonde and brunettes, so like the tweets and everything. So I think it depends on, I'm not like announcing myself as like someone in crypto, but a lot of people know that I'm in crypto. And one thing that I just realized recently, which I think is interesting, is that like people don't really update actually when you're not like constantly like interacting with people don't really like update the like buckets they have put you in their mind. I don't know if that's something you've noticed. So some people still see me as like, you're in tech. Some people still see me as like, you are like in petroleum engineering. Some people see me as, okay, you're now in crypto, or like, oh, are you still doing that crypto thing? And maybe it's like, so like over like the past 5 or so years, how things have changed. Okay, so why I say this is like my brother like asked me a few days ago to recommend a really good DSA course for him, and I haven't like bothered about DSA for so long. But I think that in his mind he still sees me as someone that would have that knowledge, just because at some point I was like grinding DSAs, object-oriented programming, trying to like get hired as a software developer. And I've noticed that like there's still like lots of my friends that see me as someone in tech or like someone in engineering, not really someone in crypto. But then there are people that see me as someone in crypto. So, do you like tell your friends about?
I'm like
crypto?
very doxxed. I have no shame. I also like I leverage all of my past to just like share stuff. I like don't give a fuck. I really like they should know. They should know I'm like that girl or whatever. And I think like to your point, people love to bucket things because humans are so stupid and we love simplicity, we love boxes, we love lists. So makes sense, like each to their own. But I think the cool thing is like people really close to me know that I'm so much more than just my coins or my bag. But it's still kind of funny, like it's like a test. I don't know, like if they want to box you in this way, or like, oh, she's like into Doge now, like that's on them. Like, but yeah, I like have no shame. If anyone asks me, I tell them like everything I know and like what I think, and open source, baby. I'm open source everything. I have no shame.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, but I do know people like I really, really, really respect people who can work for years in crypto and be like very, I don't know, be very influential, and like in their personal life, no one knows anything about them. I think that's a skill. So respect. But
yeah, I think the deeper you go into crypto, the sometimes it's like kind of harder to like have some kind of conversations. And let me explain what I mean. It's like when someone asks you what are you working on, and it's like something more like complex. For example, my mom knows about like Solidity just because like she asked me what I was working on, and I told her like, oh, this is Solidity Bootcamp, and she's like, what's that? And I explained it to her. But like I don't always want to have those like conversations with people that I'm not like so close to. I don't want to start having to explain like everything. So sometimes I use like analogies, or like it's something like this. And if you like really want to know about it, maybe I could explain. But yeah, so I think it's just like with onboarding, like you have to first explain, like you say it's like on-chain music, and they're like, what's on-chain? And I'm like, okay, do you know about this? Do you know about that? So sometimes I don't like having those conversations, and maybe that might be the reason why some people like separate their like crypto and they go all in and they have all the like crypto conversations where people have a baseline, and then they leave like their like regular life in like the separate contexts.
yeah, I like that. I want to actually pick your brain, by the way, on what you think the on-chain creator economy will evolve into in like the next couple years, or even 5 years, whatever goes.
That is a good question, because I have to think for this one. This is actually why I say in like
Good questions make you
interviews.
think.
This is what I say in job interviews. When I need some time, I'm like, oh, that's a really good question. You know, it's a good question when you have to think, and you're like, oh, take your time.
Yeah. You're like, okay, but are you gonna hire me? Like,
And you're like, oh, take your time. So with on-chain, I think that I don't know that I can predict like how things are going to look in the future. I think that a lot of Web2 creators are getting crypto pilled just because, like, a lot of Web2 creators, I'm seeing them get crypto pilled. Like, for example, in like Africa or like places around the world, there's no creator fund or things like that. But with crypto, you can like the getting the money part. I.e., like if somebody sends you money or if someone wants to buy your work, it's very easy for you to get that money. It may not be easy for you to get people willing to buy your work, if that makes sense. But it's
there's
like
a marketing
on the
problem.
other side. Yeah, so with like Web2, you can have like people willing to buy, but there are not as many channels for them to directly pay you that money. And
Yeah.
so I think that a lot of like Web2 creators are waking up to like, let's remove the middleman, let's like directly earn it. There's like, and also there's like an opportunity in crypto just because there's a gap, like not a lot of video content is being made as opposed to like Web2. It's still like an emerging creator space in Web2. too. So I think like a lot of people are like jumping into that. So I think that we will see a lot more people from Web 2 are coming in. We will see a lot more people from Web 3 becoming creators, especially with the like increase in like consumer crypto, because you have to market them and you have to like, and I think with Web3, like the whole marketing space is also like maturing. We will soon be getting to like Web2 levels of just like the demand and the like user generated content and things like that. But I think that like there's also probably going to be like creator-fi really big, because it's just Web3, we add like decentralization and finance to everything. Also social fi is like kind of like creator-fi, because it's still the creators in a sense. But yeah, I think that like there's going to be a lot more. Yeah. Because it's like social fi, but like it's mostly people that already like have an audience that creates content that are like polarizing individuals that do them, that like kind of like get the biggest part of the pool, if that makes sense. Like even what's it called? I forgot what it's called. It launched yesterday. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Clout?
Exactly.
No.
Even with cloud,
Yeah.
to tokenize yourself, you have to have at least 10k followers, and then on like Twitter or so it's like social fi, DeFi, everything. It's powering creators to create more and earn more. And I think that like more rails will be built for that. So I have no idea like how it's going to look, but I'm really like excited to see just what it looks like.
Yeah, I have no idea. Anything could happen. That's the thing, right? Like literally anything can happen. But there are only two verticals I'm bullish on, like super bullish on, and it's, one is creator economy, including things like tooling, ways like loyalty, all of that. Like these are gaps in Web 2 that haven't really, it's just not very like ideal. It's not optimized. But I think with features like social graphs and the ability to like really like know who your audience are, it's awesome. And the other is just like stable coins. But yeah, that's like my personal just telling you what I'm bullish on. Cool. I mean, is there anything like you want to share that's like up and coming in the pipeline? I know you mentioned you're still really, I guess everything is simmering. You're doing like a season with Yep and Rose and a season on building on chain. But anything else? What should people have like their eyes on?
I will be doing like more short form content. Maybe this will like motivate me to like just ship it out. So I consume a lot of content. So I would like to create the kind of content that I like to consume, like hopeless core kind of content. Because I feel like I see it in like tech, I see it in like outside of tech, like everything else, like movies, like influencers. But I don't see a lot of like Web3 hopeless core videos, and there's so many things that you can like make into that kind of content, just because we have so many like moments, like funny, interesting moments in this space. So yeah, that is something to look forward to. And then like the podcast, I keep releasing episodes. Everything will be more like stable, consistent moving forward. So yeah, just keep an eye out on like what I do on my socials and on building on chain and on Yap and Rose.
Beautiful.
I don't want to promise too much.
No promises, but also keep an eye on everything. No, I mean, I totally get it. And I think just the fact that you're like doing something is like really respectable. Yeah, Paloma, thank you so much for your time. Always good to chat with other creators, and love how you yap.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for inviting me on. Definitely, I'm a yapper, because like you would ask me one question and I kept on yapping. I don't know, I wish you the best when you edit this episode. Yeah.
Tech issues. The yapping is no problem. The yapping is great. Like that's exactly what we want.
Nice. I love it. And yeah, happy to be on. Also looking forward to see just the lineup of like other people that you
Hell yeah.
have on this season.
Very exciting. Sweet. Well, I'll see you. See you. Oh, so cringe. See you on chain.
Yeah, I'll see you on chain. Bye.
All right. Bye.